Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Blake and Sal Show with Mark, celebrating its 10-year anniversary, dominating the podcast world. Now sit back and relax, and let's welcome your hosts, Blake, Sal, and Mark.
Diamonds under my eyes. Turn the rhythm up, don't you wanna just come along for the ride? Oh, my outfit's so tight, you can see my heartbeat tonight. I can take the heat, baby, better believe that's the moment I shine. Cause every romance shakes and it burns, don't give a damn. When the night's here, I don't do tears, baby, no chance. I could dance, I could dance, I could dance. Watch me.
Welcome to the Blake and Sal Show with Mark, episode number 472. I'm your host, Blake, and I love to introduce you to my co-host, but nobody's here. It's just me. This is a rare occasion. I think it's been like a year since I've done a show, just me as host. For those wondering, I know I had to open up with something from the Barry soundtrack. I really enjoyed the movie, so I had to play some songs from it today. Since I'm controlling the music, let's do it. I've taken 2 Peloton classes with this song on it in the last week. So, you loop butt dance tonight, opening the show. So, I am not here by myself. I do have somebody, a guest on, who is looking forward to coming on here, and really enough has not come on in like a year and a half. So, first time on the 10-year anniversary, and I haven't played this in a very long time. Let's bring on to the show an old friend, Travis Bryant. Welcome back. It's been a long time.
It has been, Blake. It's been a while, but I'm happy to be back. Thanks for the invite.
No problem at all. So because we are celebrating our 10-year anniversary this year. I have been looking up our guests to see like how many times they've been on the show. I have no idea how you've only been on the show 6 times. I have no idea. This is only your 6th appearance on the show. And then I was thinking about it. We used to record on Wednesday nights. So you were doing this.
Well, that happens. Yeah. So yeah, I would have guessed this was my 4th. This is my 6th appearance, so I should have gotten my 5th appearance SNL jacket last time. Still haven't gotten that. What the hell, man?
Hey, we're independently run. Fitting how I am joined you a con on press passes next week. Let's just go with that.
Nice.
So I guess I'll just do all the spiel here, and we'll get right into things. Help support the show. You can find the show on our podcast website at theblakeandsalshow.com. And you can buy our shirts, stickers, hoodies, and more from our TeePublic store. Click on the TeePublic link on our website. Go to TeePublic and search the Blake and Sal Show. And I'll just throw its commercial. Come right back. All right. Quick plugs. I have a bunch of stuff I got to plug here because I'm pretty much going on a little bit of summer break after this show. So, first of all, pick up Mandy's book. I Know I Am, available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and R&T Publishing, now in English and in Spanish. Go listen to Mandy's podcast, the Name of the Mandy Show, available on all podcasting platforms. They go monthly. I will be guesting on the Bat Minute podcast on Monday, talking about Mask of the Phantasm with our friends John and Niall. So go check that out. I reached out to them yesterday to just double check the episode's on. It's going up on Monday. And then 1 week from you hearing this, come join me and Mark at Fan Expo Chicago. We're going to be on the podcast stage on the floor. I checked the app, and we're literally right over by RS Alley. So come join us at 3 p.m. at Fan Expo Chicago, Friday, August 11th, 1 week from today, as you're hearing this. And we're going to be having a lot of fun. It's going to be me, Mark, and Christian on the stage. And we're going to be doing the Blake and Sal Show on stage. We've never done that before, so I'm looking forward to doing it next Friday at Fan Expo Chicago. So there you go. Trav, do you have anything you need to plug here while we're doing plugs?
No, you can follow me on all, or at least most social media platforms at Trav Lord. If you're, I implore you to go VIP on PW Torch so you can hear Rich and I. I would say every Wednesday, and then I would say most Wednesdays, but we've had a bit of a summer hiatus, so let's go with that. But Rich and I will be back doing VIP shows for the Pro Wrestling Torch. So go VIP, pwtorch.com/go VIP. So yeah, there's a plug.
There you go. Yeah, I'm a VIP member, so we're all good. We're all good there. I can't complain there. Plus, I was wondering what happened with you guys. I know Rich was going to come on this show too, but he's on vacation.
Yeah, a whole bunch of life stuff. My laptop died. It was just it's still alive. It's just flickers, and it's so awful to try to use. So Rich actually had to mail me one of the. I was like, I don't have any money to get. I don't have $500-600 laying around to get a new laptop immediately. Do you have one? He's like, oh yeah, here, I got a gaming laptop I don't even use. So he was pal enough to hook me up with the laptop. I got the laptop, put all the recording stuff on it, and then still never did shows for the last 6 weeks or whatever it's been. It's been since the end of May. Yeah. So, but we'll be back, and we'll have like a 5-hour show where we run down every single thing we've missed in the last 2 months. No, we won't. We'll be back.
Can't wait to hear Rich falling asleep in the background of that episode.
That will be a blast. I've missed listening to Rich snore while I struggle to carry the show alone.
That's fine. All right. Let's get into things. Before we get into the wrestling side of things, we do have to bring up a passing that I did not see coming, and a lot of people did not see coming. And that's Paul Rubens passed away at age 70 from cancer in Pee Wee Herman, of course. And I'm playing a little bit of Pee Wee's Big Adventure in the background. I know this is the Breakfast Machine song, which a little story here. Me and Kyle did a college project, and he insisted we use one of this song in our college project. So there you go. That's why I came up to my first thing that came to mind was this song for the college project. So Trav, Pee Wee Herman, Paul Rubens. This is a big deal.
Yeah. It's I'm 43 years old. I think you're right there with me. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I remember when this show debuted. I mean, like, I don't have the actual, but I remember being around as I was a day one Pee Wee Herman, Pee Wee's Playhouse fan, and just he's just been that guy that it's the thing of getting old when your childhood folks start dying more frequently, and he's 70 and had cancer. It's not like he like some tragic youth.
That's the best part. Like, he kept it a secret, which I did not expect to hear that news. I was like, wow, good for him. Like, in the media world we live in, to keep that kind of stuff secret is a big deal.
I actually appreciated that, because I don't deal with death well, and I don't mean like I break down or I cry. I just don't.
Oh, I get it.
Everybody's different, right? Like, but I don't know. I've never been a rest in peace guy for folks that even if I really truly like was a fan of theirs or whoever, I'm not sure what I do. And when my parents die, like, am I going to make a big deal on social media about it? That's just not so when it came out, when I saw his last post about not sharing things, it was like, that's probably how I would, none of my friends would probably know I was sick, or if I was going through something like that. So it kind of immediately hit me kind of and like registered with me a bit, resonated, I should say.
It reminded me of John Huber, where no one knew what was going on with him, and all of a sudden the day after Christmas, and I was like, "What? What happened?" Like, I think it reminded me of the shock. Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So no, I've been appreciating everybody putting up, like, on TikTok, all the videos, like all flashback videos. Even WWE today put up a video of him and The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
So nice surprise.
That was good.
A lot of times I've seen that. So very cool. Just want to make.
Yeah, Alamo tweeted out something. It just people showed love. And
you don't realize how
well
much
deserved.
Yeah, someone touches people like that. It's amazing,
Yeah.
So that being said, that'll be a segue into. Wait, damn it! I turned the volume down and I shouldn't have done that. Let me do that again. Let me try that again. Mm-hmm.
And now let's get into the crazy world of professional wrestling.
By the way, if you're not recognizing the voice, that would be our own Kurt Hoffman that does our didn't enough. He did our bumpers for this year, so he came.
Couple of flare-ups have come up on my memories from whatever 10 years ago. Do you remember when they were doing Gonzo and the Greg, and he would do his flare-ups and his whole Ric Flair deal? And a couple of them have showed up on my memories in the last 2 or 3 months, when I guess he was putting them out more frequently. And they're great. And yeah, Kurt's great. I miss those guys.
Yeah, Kurt actually went in and helped me out and did all the bumpers for the 10-year anniversary show. So it's cool for him to do. And he didn't ask for anything for it. He just wanted recognition every time I went to the Blue Moon when I bring it up. So
nice. Shout out to Kurt.
Great guy. Yeah. I can't complain at all. So I don't bring it up enough. So there you go. All right. So before we get into SummerSlam and the weekend that we have ahead of us, let me do one big news item dropped. And I don't really pay attention to the stockholders, Cole. I really don't pay attention to it. It's just not my thing. I tried once and I fell asleep. I legitimately fell asleep. I can't do it. Not my thing. So I rely on everybody else. If something major happens in the thing, let me know.
Yeah.
So I'm at work, and Jason Powell tweets out completely out of the blue on my phone, because I get Pro Wrestling and Torch updates on my phone a lot. All of a sudden I see that Vince McMahon has a warrant, a subpoena for him. I'm like, what? I had a clap when I was doing it. Click on the link, like, what's going on?
But that also came out a day or so after you hear about his spinal surgery. So it's like, wait, he's not on the run at least. So
yeah, he can't go anywhere. So let me read the story. So the story comes down to WWE announced during the stockholders meeting that federal agents executed a search warrant and served a federal grand jury subpoena on Vince McMahon on the 17th of July. And then he had his spinal surgery, like you said, right after this.
Yeah.
Which is crazy timing. Like,
I mean, if you know anything about Vince and being in court and surgeries, I mean, it's just the whole steroid trial. He shows up with his neck brace on after having conveniently having the procedure done right as the trial's about to start.
But no, I gotta admit, I don't know what to make of this. I was actually listening to House of Hoffman right before we came on. I wanted to see if I can get more information about this before we came on. And Nick Hoffman, he did a little more research about this, and apparently this goes back to last year when they found all that money that was missing, coffers, and this is going back to that. And apparently the rumor going around is they wouldn't have even done anything if he didn't come back into power. The minute he came back into power, the federal government was like, okay, fine, it's open again. Fine. So here we are.
That's interesting. Like, what's the rationale behind why is his business? Well, I guess never mind. That's the kind of case kind of is about that. So that's something to think about. I'd like to think that they would have gone after, like, if you think the guy committed crimes, it shouldn't be your determination whether you're going to go after him or not shouldn't be is he currently like working, or is he like hanging out with his grandkids? Oh, he's hanging out with his grandkids, leave him alone. But if he's back screwing up creative and changing stuff around last minute, all right, maybe there's a secret wrestling fan that just doesn't want him a part of the creative process. It's like, okay, we got to get him. He's back to work. Get him.
It's funny, because didn't they celebrate like the 1-year anniversary of him retiring, quote unquote?
That showed up on my 1 year ago or something, where he's 77 years or however old he is long enough. And thank you WWE for today, forever, now, then, forever, whatever their slogan is. And it's like, oh, that lasted all of 7 months or whatever it was.
Yeah, it's crazy how things happen. But
I mean, we were all ding dong the witches did, and it was so great this time last year.
Who's that last year? And everything at the beginning of the show last year. Like, we go back to that episode. We were having a celebration here. It was crazy.
I remember. Yes, it was great.
Oh my god! But a year later, now he's dealing with this. It's just funny that and people were jumping on like, "Oh, this is going on at the same time with the Trump stuff," and I'm like, "Okay, well, the two of them can deal with this themselves. They can call each other as besties and deal with it themselves."
I got a hush money scandal too, and Trump's like, "I got that plus a bunch of other shit." So
we're not going to get into it here, but yeah, a bunch of other shit. All right. Before we get there, one more thing. This past weekend with the Great American Bash. I don't know, Trav, did you watch the Bash?
I did not in live. I saw truncated version of
Fair enough. Fair enough. I will do quick results, and if you have any thoughts before any quick thoughts. First of all, the D'Angelo family, they beat Gallus to win the NXT Tag Team Championship. Not gonna lie, I was happy to see it. I thought that the match was a little short, though. I thought it'd be a little longer of a match, but I enjoyed it, and I'm glad they won the titles. I also enjoyed on NXT that they brought in Santos to tag with them. That was a pretty cool moment. I popped for that. I didn't expect it. Trav, go ahead.
Who'd they bring to tag with them? I didn't see NXT Tuesday.
Gallus confronted them, and Tony's like, I'm going to call an old friend, and he brought in Santos Escobar.
Oh, right. They had their whole mob boss meeting, and they would go back and forth. Yeah, the family, and that whole nonsense they did
It was really cool because they're out the ring, and all of a sudden they're like, "Who's the partner?" It's like, "I called an old friend." All of a sudden you hear Viva La Raza. I'm like, "Whoa!" It was such a great moment.
That's a choice, Santos. You're getting them over as a babyface, and are they baby faces?
Right now, currently at least. Currently
they okay. All right. Then I guess it works.
Crowd loves them in the NXT universe. They love them.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. Moving on. We had Roxanne Perez beat Blair Davenport in Women's Wild match. Did not surprise me whatsoever because we were in Texas. Whatsoever. I'm shocked that Booker T didn't get involved, honestly. And then there's the match that everyone keeps talking about. It's Gable Steveson and Barry Corbin going to a double count out. Boy, this match was not good on any level, except for Barry Corbin's new theme music, which I loved. But other than that, it wasn't good.
What's the point of why immediately jump down Gable Stevenson's throat? Like, what's his I don't immediately you're not Angle. Like, okay. Well, I guess you could say he's leaning more into that's on him, but it's not on him. It's on the company that's probably telling him exactly what he's got to do and how he's got to be, which is the only thing I can think of. That's the issue, that people see him as not a pro wrestler, like a guy was chosen by the company. But let the guy have his first match before you decide. He's like, oh, okay, we know he's not Angle.
No,
but I don't know. I just thought it was a little harsh.
Earned his gold medal, and the first thing he hits is an ankle lock, and the crowd did not want to cheer from him anyway.
No, that's a good point. They do have to. Whoever's producing that match has to, unless the idea is to make him, a bit of an insufferable asshole. But
I don't know. The fact that you have a crowd that was rooting for Baron Corbin, that never happens ever. That does not say a lot for you. Like, come on.
Maybe they liked his outfit and his new music.
Music, I did love it. I'm not gonna lie, I did love the new music. Yeah. So one of the highlights of the show, Dirty Dom, Dominic Mysterio beating Wesley and Mustafa Ali to retain the NXT North American Championship. I thought this was great. I'm not gonna lie. How do you feel about Dirty Dom? I mean, you always ask for everybody to come on. What do you think about Dirty Dom?
I think he's a bit of a needle mover. I mean, he's the only guy to main event Raw, SmackDown, and NXT in the same week. He's doing his job, and his hair is amazing. Like it took me till last week, or maybe it was this Monday, to realize, like, oh wow, he's really killing that mullet and the whole look. He's doing his job, and he doesn't even have to do much to do his job. He's just put the mic to his face, and the crowd does the rest, and it's an organic thing, and it's and I'm all about it.
Nobody's start calling you. That's the best part. Like, everyone just hates him after what happened with Ray, and now he's like the biggest heel in the company. Actually, biggest heel in wrestling. Like, no one expects
probably.
That. Yeah, they're trying.
But I don't know if that would translate into, like, I don't think people would pay necessarily, because we've seen Seth versus Dom, right? But if you put him in a position to possibly win that title from an over babyface, I'm not sure if you're looking at the ticket sales and going, like, when they added Jay and Roman to SummerSlam, tickets the next 2 days went nuts. I'm not sure if even on a scaled down level, like a Raw or an off-brand pay-per-view, if you're putting Dom in a position where he could, I don't know if he's moving the needle that much, but he's got the attention of the WWE universe and management, obviously. And there, I think he's being booked well. That's the key. I think he's being put in a position where all he can do is succeed.
So, and then the next, what I appreciated, by the way, on NXT this week, you didn't watch it. They did something that most people don't. They always complain about. Everyone sold losses. Everybody sold their losses, which was a nice surprise.
Oh yes, that's what a novel idea.
Wesley got angry because he lost 3 matches in a row. Mustafa Ali confronted Dom outside. Like everyone was angry. And the best part about it for me was the next match, which was Tiffany Stratton beating Thea Hale for the NXT Women's Championship match after Andre Chase threw in the towel. And then on Tuesday night, Thea Hale, she's only 19, so it's only right that she acts like a passionate teenager and pissed at Andre Chase for throwing in the towel. And she spent the whole show like down in the dumps, doesn't want to cheer. I've never seen her. It was like a fucking beat up puppy. Like it was insane. All the time that she reminds us of Rebound from the Pound Puppies. We joke about it on here all the time. So when we watch her, she's like literally sitting there like depressed, pouting like a teenager. It was like, wow, this is crazy to watch. But I really enjoyed this. I'm not gonna bullshit you. I'm not seeing Tiffany Stratton like everyone else is yet.
I'm not either. Like I'm not now. When I saw her a year ago and I didn't know who she was, and I just saw her like do a wild, like kind of like Acai moonsault from the ring apron rope, from the ring apron to the outside, or like from the second rope to the outside. And I was like, holy crap, that was like this smooth, like, who is this young woman? Like, I've never seen her. Tiffany Stratton, I think she didn't have enough time as a number 2. Because when Mandy Rose got fired, it was everyone it's like The Simpsons when it was time for Bart to tell a joke. Everybody just turned around in class, like, are you going to say your line? And when she got when Mandy Rose got let go, everybody looked at Tiffany Stratton and was like, okay, you're next. And it would have been nice if she had maybe not another year, but just some more time, another couple of feuds to be a number 2, just to get her when the spotlight is all on her, and she's proven to be a bit of a draw, so they must be doing something right. But I personally, like, when the spotlight is on her, it seems not as great as when I didn't know who she was and she was just some obnoxious blonde that did super athletic moves and was a halfway decent wrestler.
Yeah, it's also, I think it's also the fact she didn't beat anybody for the title. It was a vacant title, and she won a vacant title because I think it went from Roxanne, and then it went to Indy Hartwell, and then Indy got called up, and she was hurt, so they moved the title.
Yeah, she couldn't even. Unfortunately, Indy Hartwell, if they wanted to even do like a, hey, Indy, you're going to put Tiffany over on your way out, and let's try to go. Indy's a good wrestler. Go in there and teach the young woman something, and then put her over strong. She didn't even get that from the former champ. So not watching NXT week to week and only kind of following peripherally, I don't see those details, but that makes a lot of sense that you think about, like, yeah, she just kind of, again, everybody knew she was next, but you still need the story. You still need something for the fans to sink their teeth into.
Yeah, and it also doesn't help right now that it's like, I remember back when like NXT 2.0 started, and I remember this has been embedded in my brain. It's all about the ladies commercials that they were airing to hype up NXT 2.0 when it first started. And I recently on Raw this week for NXT, because of the Barbie entrance she did on Sunday, that big Barbie entrance for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Like, they all of a sudden they're airing one of those Tiffany Stratton, like, look at her, she's hot, go watch her. I'm like, that's not what this is supposed to be. Like, you're supposed to be like wrestling. Like, I understand the Barbie thing.
Yeah.
Like, I understand. But like,
But at least I thought she got to talk during that ad, commercial, promo, whatever you want to call it. But it had nothing to do with what she does athletically. It was more, come see the bombshell, the Barbie, the whatever they gave her a stupid nickname.
Like right now.
Huh?
Can't think of it right now, but I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it's like the blonde something or the Barbie something Tiffany Stratton. It's an alliteration, DB something Tiffany Stratton. But yes, it should have been more about, hey, she kicked some ass over the weekend, watch her come do it again.
Exactly. So.
You got to to be fair to them, it's hard to, maybe not. You guys, Barbie lore more than I. I think you could be an ass kicking, Barbie. I'm sure there's like Kung Fu Barbie or.
I just saw the movie, so it's definitely in there somewhere. There's definitely a karate Barbie in there somewhere.
Yeah, it's got to be.
So, all right. And then, of course, the main event, which, by the way, this match was fantastic. It was Carmelo Hayes, Ilya Dragunov, NXT Championship. Carmelo Hayes retains. I thought this is fantastic. Like,
It's so unfortunate that they have no plans for Dragunov. I don't know if it's going back to, the Gunther or Walter then, the match he had with Walter, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
And now he has another, like he proves over and over again that he can get star making performances out of future stars. That's what obviously Walter was then and what Hayes is now. But the fact that he can't parlay that into something, and it's like, nope, let us squash the rumors right now. He's not joining. He's not going to be the newest member of Imperium. They don't have any plans further. Like, how is a guy on the main event of, and not only in the main event of a really hyped up summer show, but in the main event and put on the performance he did, and then you got nothing for him.
I agree with you. The one I will say, if they had an idea, I heard a rumor, but somebody made a suggestion. Maybe you bring him up after SummerSlam and you slowly have him go towards Gunther for the IC title, but do it slowly. Like, have him beat people, move up to Gunther, and then have him beat Gunther again. But not like tomorrow.
Did he?
3 months.
In that match of the year contender, did Ilya win?
Yeah, he won the title.
Oh, he did. And that's right.
Actually, I didn't, because I'm with NXT UK. I remember that there was no one in the crowd, and then they have
wasn't it an outside show?
I'm looking it up right now because I don't remember. I remember watching the match. I
remember the match being. I remember seeing daylight. It was like a tent kind of deal.
The match I'm thinking of, I remember with NXT UK with no fans, and I did not watch NXT UK that often because of the no fan thing. And I had to watch that match. Like, I had to watch that match.
Maybe I'm getting a couple things confused.
But yeah, I'm looking it up. I remember that title match because I didn't watch that much at all. But yeah, that was that was 2 years ago already. Jeez, that was almost 2 years ago. Wow.
When did it happen?
There was 2 matches. There was the one in the UK that like nobody watched because it was no fan. But then they did the actual title change at TakeOver 36, August 2021.
Wow.
That was 2 years ago. Like, wow. SummerSlam weekend 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is. It's again, the fact that they have nothing for him out after you would think a match like that and how he got Carmelo over and how they were just both phenomenal, you'd think maybe that would change some minds, but they know what he could do. He doesn't have to prove himself. He did 2 years ago.
Exactly. Absolutely. 100% agree with you. All right. So that being said, that is that. Let's hit this. A few weeks ago during Raw, Sal texted me. He's like, "Are they really using Born to Be Wild for the theme of SummerSlam, or is this just the standard for the commercials?" I'm like, "No, they're really using Born to Be Wild as the theme of the pay-per-view." I did not see that coming for this show.
I didn't either. And I guess because it has the line, "Get your motor running and head out on highway," and it's like, oh, that fits.
Detroit. We're in Detroit. Yeah.
But there are other, like, way more obvious car-centric, even specifically Motor City-centric songs that you could have picked. So, but it's a good song.
Absolute classic. It's surprising.
Yeah, it's hard to be like, I mean, that's a thing. That's a foot tapper, boy. 55, 60 years later or whatever that thing came up.
It's very. I didn't expect this one, but it's very cool. Born to Be Wild, Steppenwolf, theme of SummerSlam in the first I think this is the first pay-per-view in this country since Mania. Like this is the first pay-per-view in this country since Mania, I think. So the last couple of pay-per-views were in
Saudi, Puerto
Arabia.
Rico, UK. Where were they just a bit ago?
In UK, and then they were
in London,
and then they were in Puerto Rico. So,
yeah, Puerto Rico, Saudi, and London.
Yeah, this is the first time they're in the country since WrestleMania. So that's crazy for a PLE.
Damn.
There you go. That's actually pretty crazy when you look at it from that perspective. We were talking about that.
It really is.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, but the stadium show, this is going to be a lot of fun. What's interesting is when we first talked about this, they had like 10 matches announced for the show, and now we're down to 8, including a Battle Royal, which okay. This is definitely a shorter show than I expected it to be. The disappointing thing is they pulled Becky and Trish from this show, which is very disappointing because I was expecting that match to be here, and it's not. They're doing it on Raw in 2 weeks.
Winnipeg. Yeah, I'm not terribly upset. That has been. It started out really good. I thought Trish, that the promo Trish cut about I'm not a sidekick and I'm not your your poster, your childhood fantasy, your teenage fantasy. I thought that was the absolute best promo of her life. Yeah, but certainly of her wrestling career. And it's been all kind of slowly downhill since then. Not even because of the folks involved, Trish, Becky, and Zoe, but the crowd. Anytime they've had them out there in front of a crowd together talking back and forth, it just hasn't gone well. And I don't know if it's Becky. I know she's not as over as she once was. She's just not, something about, being an underdog and coming up and scratching and clawing. And now you're the establishment and you're the top dog. Or Trish, who's just not been asked to carry a kind of promo battles back and forth, multiple segments where you're cutting back and forth and there's history to your program and a lot of things to grasp onto. So I don't know if 8-10 weeks into this thing, however long this thing's been going on, I just don't know if she has it in her in the combo of Becky not being super over and probably not having her heart into this stuff as much. And that's just me speculating. I didn't hear anything or don't know and see a tweet or nothing like that. But there's something obviously different with Becky Lynch. Like something's up. They've even alluded to, she's got stuff going on and but she's not Becky Lynch of 2019. It's just not.
It's just we're having SummerSlam and we don't have Becky. They didn't find anything for Rhea, surprisingly. That surprised me. So there's only one thing Judgment Day on here. Like it's just surprising what they did. Like
they didn't want to do let's throw Natty in there and whatever they did for
setting up Raquel and Rhea. I really thought that's what they were doing.
They're getting to that. I just don't think they had enough time. It's a SummerSlam match.
Sure.
And I think Raquel and Rhea, but Raquel as a challenger, as somebody who's going to most absolutely likely and she's going to lose that match. I think it's better if she has a better build, a better, more emotion, more story told. But unfortunately, the live stuff, the tag title stuff, with her personally, they've done a good job of making you want to see that match. And I don't think holding off on it for another month is a bad idea.
I just thought about the next pay-per-view is 1 month away. PLE is 1 month away. So doing it being in September, not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. They save it for then. I mean,
and now Raquel has a reason to be, to want to tear her head off more than she already did a week or two ago. But even more, she's hurt her twice now in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Liv isn't there to take attention away or to get in her way or however you want to look at it. So she's going to carry this thing, her and Rhea. So it might be the best. I think it's going to be the best thing for both of those for that championship, for Rhea. And I think that the one thing I think Rhea's dealing with injuries. I don't think any of them are 100%.
She looked in NXT last week, so maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
No, she's only wrestled one match since like the last
Right.
body shows.
Right. I think they're protecting her because she's nursing the thing. So get her healthy and a little more healed up from September, and yeah.
So all right, let's get to the show. It's so weird only having 8 matches on SummerSlam. This is really weird, but here we go.
This is awesome.
It's weird though.
I hate 4 or 5 hour shows and these big, legacy pay-per-views, PLEs, if you must, got to the point where they were just absurd. I was at that WrestleMania 32 in Dallas, and it was awful. Not the show, the experience. It was 7 hours in a building. And yes, I might have tailgated a little too much before.
7 hours of wrestling.
But 7 hours to end with Roman Reigns beating Triple H. Not in 2016, not exactly the most exciting or fan service kind of WrestleMania ending. So when that match, when he 1, 2, 3, it was like, thank God, let's friggin' go. Ugh.
So it's funny for me, like we went to we're going to AEW shows when they come here. And the last AEW show, we left early. And I wouldn't be surprised if Triple H or someone in the back hears people online complaining about how long AEW shows are. Because we've never left. I don't leave wrestling shows early. We left at the end of Rampage. Because they're like, we have more Ring of Honor taping. I'm like, no, we're leaving. We're done. We're done. We're leaving.
There was on
I know someone that was there. Apparently the show went on another almost 2 hours after we left.
Good Lord. Was this the one from a couple of days ago?
Oh, it was from Milwaukee a couple months ago.
Oh, okay. So there was I only saw the headline. It was on one of those aggregator sites. Then it said people leave the taping in droves after leave the Rampage tapings or whatever in droves. And I think it's the same situation. They probably announced, hey, we've got this coming up, and people go, hey, no way. I've been in the seat for 3 hours already. My ass hurts. I want to go home. I'm hungry, and I'm not spending $12 more on a pretzel and soda.
Well, plus the fact that it's a Wednesday night and we're all waiting up for work tomorrow next morning.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, when they were here in Austin, I was like thinking, like, okay, we're not going to. Cam and I, we went to the show, so we didn't do a live show that day. And I told Rich was like, hey, are you going to Dynamite tonight? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, okay, well, I guess I'll talk to you next week for VIP. And I was like, well, I could have, but no. Even though Cedar Park, because when they come to Austin. They were always in Cedar Park, not Austin proper. But the drive from Cedar Park is only about a half hour, so it's not a big deal. But I still got home at midnight. And it's like, oh, yeah, no, there's no way I'd have been, hey, Rich, you ready to start this show? No way.
No, I have a feeling someone in the back is like, AEW's doing these long shows, people are complaining. Let's shorten our shows. Let's shorten them a little bit. Like the NXT show was, 2.5 hours? Like it was.
But that's been the trend.
It's nice though. It
is. It is fantastic. And I think we need to get back to the days where being on pay-per-view is not your goddamn right. It is an earned spot. And I mean, I know I'm Joe friggin' fan over here sitting on the couch watching these guys, but still, like, it is not, they don't call you up to the main roster and you go, great, I'm on every pay-per-view. Like, or, big show or whatever. Like, no, let's get back to we don't have to create a friggin' Andre the Giant Battle Royal for WrestleMania just so we can shove everybody. So everybody gets to go home and say, I was on WrestleMania. So JTG doesn't complain. I flew all my family out here and then I wasn't even on the show. Like, well, that happens. You are not WrestleMania caliber guy. You can't complain that you're not on WrestleMania. Did you draw the tickets for WrestleMania? No? Then shut the fuck up. So
right. A few years back, I buy it. I started the library. I skipped through the library. He's at the library. And it was like WrestleMania moments. And it was like, this person was at WrestleMania this. In a Battle Royal on the pre-show. I'm like, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. Like, oh my God. Like, it was really funny. I was going through that book. It was exactly what that reminded me of. with that book.
So I thought this year's WrestleMania's night 1 and 2, they were fantastically paced. 6 hours worth of wrestling over 2 days, and it's the sweet spot, which just makes you go, God, it's been 12 years, 11. We're in the 11th year of 3-hour Raws. I can't believe we just accepted that, and that's just the thing. But at least they're not a slog anymore.
Not anymore.
It does not feel like. And by the end of the show, because it's like, man, I remember in college, immediately after Raw or SmackDown would go off, we'd start talking about the next show. Oh my God, okay, so is such and such going to happen? And da-da-da-da-da. But now, or at least a year or two ago, it was like Raw's over. Oh, thank God. It's like that Simpsons when they get home from church and Homer's like, this is the best time because this is the longest time we have, the furthest time away from having to go to church again. And it was just like, as soon as Raw is over, it's like, okay, great. I don't have to deal with this for 7 more days. So, and that's not the vibe you want after people watching your show. And these are the people that are watching, that are actually sitting through 3 hours of your nonsense. That's probably why a lot more people aren't watching. But yes, it's the pacing of these shows have been pretty fantastic lately. And the fact that we don't have 15 matches on a shit, I remember WWE or WWF would have 12, 14 matches on the card and still have an under 3-hour show. They have all these matches that were, they were 8 minutes. It was just all about the intro and the spectacle. And I've been watching Wrestling Challenge the last couple of months, just having it on in the background when I'm recording. I don't have it on now, actually, ironically. But like if I'm recording with Wade or Rich, I always have it on in the background. It's like, yeah, these matches, it's not much has changed, at least before Vince left. It's like in and out, get your stuff in, and on to the next match. Like these Wrestling Challenges, like that was an hour show, and somehow they had 5 matches plus interviews and promos. Like, man,
that's funny.
But yeah.
Funny. So let's get back here. We ironically, you said no battle royals, but we are having one. They call it the Slim Jim SummerSlam Battle Royal. It cracks me up. It's sponsored by Slim Jim. Not gonna lie.
Apparently, they're getting a shit ton of money, and it's like, sorry, Trish and Becky, like you don't understand them going. We got to bump something, and your guys aren't exactly hot. We can save y'all for Winnipeg in 2 weeks, and
You got a Battle Royal, and they don't have many people announced officially. I know LA Knight and Sheamus were announced on SmackDown. They were hinting people on Raw. There's nothing on Wikipedia, nothing on WWE.com, so I didn't bother with things. But at the same time, LA Knight better win this damn Battle Royal, or that building's going to be pissed.
Yeah, they got away with Ray winning that Fatal 4-Way because it was a really good finish, and Ray's over like Rover. And,
he didn't get pinned, and LA Knight didn't get pinned.
And LA Knight didn't get pinned.
Right.
Poor Cameron Grimes, man.
But here,
here.
So
with what? However many 50,000, Smarty Pants fans, and
we didn't see Sunday Night Giant Memorial Battle Royal because when that was going on SmackDown right before WrestleMania, there was a tornado warning here, so Fox took it off for tornado stuff that day, so we didn't see that Battle Royal. But I remember about it on Twitter. People are like, oh my God, people are so pissed that Atlanta's got eliminated. They're pissed right now. If they're pissed that night,
yeah,
how they're going to be on this show?
Right, when he was firmly a heel, not even, it was just the wave was just kind of organically starting. Now where things, reaching a peak and a crescendo. Yeah,
exactly. So he has to win this.
Got it. If only to shut those people up and to give his character something to talk about and about. Did you see The Weatherman?
Which one are we on now? There's still a lot of videos the last 24, 48 hours.
A lot of who videos?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I saw one about a wife. She's like, what is this word? My husband keeps saying this word and I don't get it. He's a wrestling fan, so does that have anything to do with it? And he was petting the dog. He's like, are you a good boy? Yeah. But anyway, The Weatherman basically cut almost verbatim LA Knight's shtick. He did but he did it, within the weather context. And
Still fantastic.
He did it with a yeah. It's like, oh my God, they better do something with this guy because it's gonna
any song that has yeah in it, they've been editing it into.
Oh, I've seen some of those remixes. Yep.
They sent one Mandy yesterday with the Backstreet Boys. It was everybody.
Oh my God, she's nuts for that. Good Lord. The only thing that could make her go even more crazy if Moxley had that catchphrase. And,
oh my God!
And they cut that to that.
Oh my God, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely. Oh no, she seems to love him too. He's on the LA Knight too. Actually, we went to the house show here in Milwaukee. It was an impromptu thing. We're like, let's go to the live event, impromptu, and it was LA Knight versus Cody.
Oh,
with a full out like LA Knight promo. The crowd was going absolutely crazy. I'm like, there's something here. I don't know what it is, but this was months ago. This is before WrestleMania. So I'm like, this is something. they
gotta do something. They gotta. It
was really cool. All right, moving on. We have the MMA rules match. It is Ronda Rousey, probably more than likely on the way out, versus Shayna Baszler. This match, as everybody said, came out of nowhere, but here we are. I thought the packages on Raw were fantastic.
Fantastic.
That was some great hype.
But it had to be. It had to be because again, this thing came out of nowhere. They've literally had 4 weeks or whatever to make people get interested and care about this. So I think with the personal shots, with the promos they've cut from each other, from across the arena, that stuff was good. But these sit-down promos and the edits and the history and the pictures, just young, looking at that fresh face, Shayna Baszler. And I used to hate Shayna Baszler. Like I used to couldn't stand her. Like when she would twisting people's face. I mean, she still does it, but I used to be like, get her out of the, like, come on, ref. Like, what is your problem? But I think she was the one to win the Women's Rumble. And I think 19, was the year she was super hot and they squandered that. So I hope.
Help that either. I didn't help that.
I hope this is a springboard for her going forward on Raw.
They're on Raw.
She was on Raw, yeah.
I think here that if this is Ronda's last match or last feud or whatever the hell this is, I give her all the credit in the world when I put her for her best friend. I give her all the credit in the world. Put over Shayna here. Like
she's got it. Why wouldn't she? I mean,
the fact that they requested this feud, or she left, I respect. Like I also respect it. It was her idea to do this.
Yeah. I'm like, it makes sense. I mean, even if she wasn't, even if those two weren't gung ho for it, if it was management, like, hey, you're on your way out, we want to do this thing with you and Shayna, and we're going to make it really personal, and we're going to bring your history, your real life, 15, 20 year, friendship or whatever into it. Either way, it's a good idea. And again, hopefully, if they plan on doing something significant with Shayna Baszler in the next 6 months to a year, maybe I'm not saying she's got a main event WrestleMania in Philly, but geez, like have her in the hunt, have her be feared, have her be somebody that we're talking about because she's got all the personality in the world and she's an ass kicker. And what else do you need? Like that's the combo that you're waiting for as a wrestling promoter, and certainly in that division. Like the reason I can't take Liv Morgan as seriously as some other wrestlers because one, she's 5'0", and she's tiny, and she's just so bubbly. She knows she's not a fighter. Like I wouldn't be scared of Liv Morgan. Why would anybody who knows how to defend themselves in any way be scared of Liv Morgan? But I get it. It's pro wrestling, and it's not always about that. But good Lord, they need some credible women with some size and some real fighter appeal. And she's obviously got that.
I'm laughing.
In spades.
I have to isolate this clip of you going off on Liv Morgan to hit at the South because he went on this whole tangent about he can't stand Liv Morgan for the exact same reasons. Because the whole joke is, we say no much at Elma Park. We joke about it all the time because he's literally the next town over from Elma Park. Like, we live in Garfield. That's the whole joke with us. But he went on this whole tangent, and they got yelled at on TikTok for a clip I put up. You will absolutely appreciate this.
There you
No,
go. Screw you,
Shayna's winning this one, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm curious what MMA rules means and how they're going to pull this off. But I believe in Triple H more than Vince when it comes to letting them do their thing.
Yeah. And the fact that Vince is at home with a screw in his spine or whatever's going on. Hopefully he's doped up and give him an epidural at noon or something. It's Saturday, and he's just loopy and feeling good. And take his cell phone so he can't text anybody.
That's great. All right, let's move on to probably what sounds like it'd be the opening match of the show. It is Logan Paul versus Ricochet. Heard this was going to be the opening match of the show because Logan wants to get to Jake Paul's fight. That's right. So that's interesting to do. So he requested it. It sounds like they're going to grant it. This will be the opening match. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of looking forward to this because it's going to be a freaking spectacle. It's going to be a spectacle.
I think it has to be. I mean, what is the most, I'm going to make this the most viral
Something like
WWE match ever or whatever. Like, well, one, that's not up to you. That's up to Twitter and the rest of the internet. But it's like, what can they do? And I hope they learn something from that botched spot at the Money in the Bank, that they don't try to get too ambitious and too cute. Like what made the thing at Rumble, the collision spot, is because it's a super athletic spot and relatively safe.
It was very safe. It was very, because it was in the ring. It was in the
ring. It's everyone's under control. It's just a normal kind of, not that you can't get hurt on a normal move. I mean, we all know.
I'm doing it. If you want to, it took your time to pull it off too.
Oh yeah, I mean the whole shit talking to each other was all just so they can get their timing right, get their nod at each other, ready, because if it's off by 0.2 of a second, it looks like shit.
Yeah.
So.
Oh. No, I agree, 100%. Who wins this thing? Is it Logan Paul? He finally wins the big match here because he hasn't won one. I think he's beat the Miz. Tough call here, but
it really is because clearly they want to do something with Ricochet.
Yes,
and he's going to be on the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, Ricochet.
Logan Paul probably won't be. So you don't want to, but you also don't want to marginalize Logan Paul if you want him to draw for you in the future. If you want him to be a credible threat to if he's coming this close to beating Roman Reigns a year and a half ago or whatever for the title, and he loses to Ricochet, just perception's real, and it's a real thing, and you got to be careful. But for those reasons, and because it's. I'm going to go. If I had to make a prediction, I'd say Logan Paul was going to win.
Yeah.
If anything, it gives you, room for a rematch, especially depending on the finish. If you keep Ricochet strong for the next 3 months, and say they run it back at Survivor Series or the Royal Rumble, it's perfectly conceivable.
Yeah, I think this is it's going to be fun. I'm going to go Logan Paul too to win this thing. I don't know. I'm interested to see how they pull this off. Like I said, Ricochet came out of a shell during all this. It's nice to see Ricochet being himself and opening up more and just doing his thing. It's been nice.
I think they need to draw attention to Ricochet's beard because that thing is thick, luscious, and glistening. Like I can appreciate a good beard.
All right. Let's move on to big meeting men's life immediately. Gunther defending the Intercontinental Championship against Drew McIntyre. I said that because you walked into the room, so I had to get that out. So, I gotta say right now, there's no reason to take the belt off Gunther right now. He's too close to Honky Tonk record. He's just too close. You can't take the belt off him now.
Do you have Drew McIntyre not win another big one? You talk about Logan Paul. Good Lord, I thought this was the whole point of this, giving him Drew McIntyre, was to take the title off of Gunther, and it's probably something we'll give you a run with the IC title. Come on, sign back with us. We'll give you, main event stuff, and yeah.
See, I thought that's what my heart tells me to do, but I don't know. I just don't see them taking the belt off Gunther right now, because for some reason Triple H, since he took over, he's been obsessed with breaking all these records ever since he took over. So it would not surprise me. He's like, well, he's so close. I mean,
What's the
now? I'm looking it up right now.
okay.
I was stalling to look up to see where the record is.
Yeah.
But I know he's super close.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because I was disappointed when Cody didn't win at WrestleMania. As a guy who was ABC back in January for the Royal Rumble, anybody but Cody, I was so against Cody winning the Rumble and going on to WrestleMania. I just did not care. But they took me on a 3-month journey, and by the time we got to WrestleMania, I was like, he's got to beat Roman.
I agree with that.
You know, we're at 900 days. That's plenty, and his legacy cemented. Cody, it's Cody's time. And when he didn't win, I was like, God damn it. They bought me. They made me believe. They made me turn about my thoughts and emotions around on Cody. Made me believe, and then didn't. But looking back, it was totally worth it. 3 months later, Roman's still on a roll. All the stuff he's done in the last 3 months, and the record breaking in 1,000 days, and the stuff with Jay, we wouldn't have been able to get all that. So,
I looked it up. The record. So currently, when SummerSlam starts, he will be at 419. He will break the record sometime in September if they keep the belt on him.
Okay.
Yeah. So
they could tell Drew, hey, look, you'll get it at the next one, or in October or something like that.
It's like 40 days away. He's literally days away less than 40 days away from breaking the record.
Yeah.
It's crazy when you think about it from that perspective. That's crazy.
Yeah, Gunther have a big celebration, longest reigning IC champion of all time, and then the next show, next time he defends it, he loses.
Exactly, something like that. Like I could totally see that happening.
Right.
But that's just something that popped into my mind. I'm like, I don't know. If they weren't so close, if they were so close to breaking this record, I would totally say Drew wins. Like totally. Because of this record.
I'm. You know what? I'm going to play a little Triple H reverse psychology. And he has Gunther drop the title just so Papa Vince isn't like, oh, he's gonna break all my records and all my legacy. I gave Hunky that record. And here he comes. Even if he doesn't vocalize that or say it to Triple H knows the old man. He's probably like, you know what? I'm going to have Gunther come this close, come a month away from breaking the thing, and hopefully that placates the old man, so he doesn't think I'm trying to, cover up and watch Triple H wash his legacy and all the things he's, which is dumb because that's just, please.
No, I agree. It's just I know because
but you can't, rationality isn't something that you can expect from Vince McMahon in the last 10, 15 years.
Not wrong. I mean, remember, they didn't have Gunther break the longest time in a Rumble in January. So, weird things to happen this year. So, I don't know. It's a weird situation. But we'll see what happens when we get there. Moving on, our next matchup we have, it is the WWE Women's Championship. This is the SmackDown one, people. Asuka versus Charlotte Flair versus Bianca Belair. Io Shirai teasing in the background with the case. What happened?
Is she on the graphic, literally in the background?
Oh, no, just saying.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just saying what it is because Io's been hiding in the background this entire time on the show, and you know what? If Io's there, that means I get to see my Gru Bailey, so I can't complain. So, what do you think, Trav? What about this one?
This has been one of the most, I don't say organically, but usually triple threat matches, the build to them or the way they get there. It's contrived. It's forced. It's like, oh, they want to have a triple threat match. So look what they're clearly. This has felt like they've done a good job of making this feel like two challengers, Charlotte and Bianca. And I've gotten to the point where I'm fully on I think I hate Charlotte Flair bandwagon. I just don't like, but they've done a good job with the two challengers at the same time for different reasons being top contenders. And they've gotten the emotions over, and Asuka as the kind of asshole hit and run champion that'll, come in, kick you in the face and then do a dance, and then leave. think her role in that has been well done, and it feels like this should be a triple threat. Like it feels like if it was like I'm all for. I love one-on-one matches. I think that should be the default, and triple threat and 4-ways and 5-ways and shit should be very situational, and the story should dictate when extra people need to be added into the match. But this felt like, nah, this needs to be settled in triple threat. I wish. My roommate was watching SmackDown with me a couple weeks ago in that first 4-way U.S. title match, and he didn't understand why there were 4 people all for every man for himself. He's like, oh, so it's a tag match? Like, no, everybody's out for their own. And so when there was the pinfall, and the one guy got, he's like, wait, so that's it? There's nobody else has to get pinned. And I had to explain to him, yeah, well, in the late 90s, you had, when triple threat matches were popular, you had a lot of big stars like Undertaker and Stone Cold, that did not want to be in elimination matches. And that where, if you're in a fatal 4-way, that means if you're in a fatal 4-way, like say at WrestleMania 2000, that means 3 of your top stars have to, which they did. That was an elimination match. And that did not go over well with everybody. Like, I don't want to get pinned, but instead of just saying, hey, you do what I tell you, Vince was like, okay, fine. And we didn't get the ECW version of triple threats and 4-ways. We got the WWE version, which is first pin wins, and doesn't make a lot of sense. But again, back to SummerSlam, this feels like a match that should be a triple threat.
No, I do agree.
Only thing that could make it better is if it was elimination, but it's not. I'll have to deal with that as we've been for 25 years.
No, I kind of expect Asuka to retain and escape with the belt, even with Io possibly cashing in. I really want to see an Io Asuka feud. Like, I really, really want to see that. So I hope they save it and like do an actual feud.
Well, that's hard with her having the Money in the Bank.
Yeah, true.
An extended feud, unless you have her take the title and then you'd have Asuka chase, which I think they're going the way of Io being a babyface. Actually, I'm not sure now. They've given a lot of mixed signals with, what's her face getting hurt, and then Bayley's, not exactly injured, but she's hurt, so she's not on the shelf. But she is, dealing with the knee. I think that's thrown Io into a bit of a flux. I thought after the Puerto Rico reaction, the company would have went, oh, we've got a star on our hands. Let's do something. Let's build her up. Let's pay attention to Io and protect her. But since then, I haven't gotten the vibe that she's next, even though she won Money in the Bank. She just seems like she still seems like fodder. So until they show, I'll believe it when I see it. Kind of with the Io.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right. Leon, we have the rematch of Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. Still have no
match.
Don't know what we're feuding about, but we're here. I'm surprised there's no stipulation. I'm surprised there's no stipulation. I was surprised about that. I expected something. We didn't get anything. But here we are.
This, I think, has been, and this past Monday was the first, I think, blatant misstep with Cody in the last 6 months, 8 months. What the hell was that?
Good question.
Like, you'd have been better off not answering Brock's call, Cody Rhodes, physically, in the eyes of the fans. Like, you come out there, you shake his hand. Brock doesn't do the heelish thing and sneak you and twist your arm when you won't let your hand go. You did the sneaky thing and then got your ass whooped.
Just let him walk
away with some ring steps. I was waiting. I was like, okay, this third one, Cody's going to duck. And then I was like, kick him in the balls, Cody. Like, I'm not going to feel lesser of you. But the fact that you just got beat up and couldn't do anything about it, I was like, what? Why am I rooting for you at SummerSlam? If you're such an idiot that you came out there and got you, and then you snuck the guy and still got your ass whipped. That's just never a good thing.
No, I know exactly what you're saying, but at the same,
and then he cut. Oh, and that wasn't even the worst part. The interview backstage an hour later, and he's holding his arm. He's like, this is what I'm going to do this to you, Brock, and come SummerSlam, I'm going to take you to the limit. I was like, you're not going to do anything but get beat up again, just like you did, 30 minutes ago. I was baffled by the Cody Rhodes stuff on Monday. Had no idea what they thought they were getting out of that for Cody Rhodes. Even for Brock, I was just like, poor Brock. That's no way this is not a go home angle. I'm sorry. This is not a go home angle for a rubber match of this magnitude. I thought they dropped the ball with that Monday.
Yeah. Well, we have a match. I expect Cody to win this somehow. I don't know how he's going to win it. And especially because, like I said, I thought there'd be some kind of stipulation. Or like make a hardcore match or something.
Yeah. It's like the thing they did with Punk, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, when he had to face Brock in a match for the title. And I was like, well, good luck to you, Punk. And then they last minute made it a no holds barred or some kind of no DQ. And I was like, there you go. Got to even things up and give Punk a fighting chance if he's got a kendo stick in his hand or some kind of equalizer. But I think they don't want that. I think they know that trope is out there and people can see that coming. It's like anytime Vince was in a match, it was in a big time spectacle match, they would always go no DQ because Vince can't wrestle in any other match than one where he can pick up weapons, because he's not going to collar elbow tie up with the guy and do moves because he can't. So you got to be able to hit guys in the head with a trash can and have a bunch of interference and stuff. So I think the thought is people are going to see that coming, and it's going to lower Cody in their mind, which it would, because it's, why can't you beat the guy straight up? You've been talking all this junk, and his defeat of Brock was on a leverage pin. Even though Brock had the Crimson Mask and it was a really good match, he still beat him with a roll-up or whatever it was. And when Brock beat him, okay, he didn't tap out, but he still made you pass out. Like, why is that? Why? Only in wrestling is a guy submitted you to the point where you fell asleep. That's a knockout. Just because he didn't punch you in the face and you went down all dramatic, that's still, he didn't give up. His body did. Like, he still was asleep on the ground. The visual and the end of the final answer is still the same.
Not wrong.
But again, pro wrestling, some things just seem differently, and that's fine within the world that you create. As long as you're consistent. But in that world, Cody won with the leverage move, and Brock passed him out. So to me, it's not 1-to-1. It's Brock 1.25 to Cody's really, because his win, if you're going by more impressive wins, if like sometimes you got to do in like soccer, I think, in certain sports where there's ties at the end of the season, like, okay, who had the more college football, who had the more impressive schedule, who had more impressive wins. Brock had the more impressive win.
It's funny. It's actually because I've been watching a lot of the G1. I've been catching up on the G1, and they were celebrating countout wins and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, it's so different.
Which you should. I think countouts should be in double DQs and DQs and all those kinds of things should absolutely be utilized.
And it's great in Japan. They did a phenomenal job. They made a countdown finish exciting as hell during the last night of the AB block. Like, it was exciting. I think it was Tamatanga and Will Ospreay. It was just exciting count-out win. I was like, wow, that's how you do it. Like, that was really cool. Like, you don't see it very often like that. Like, that was great.
Yep. Oh. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of not just cheap count-out finishes.
Exciting.
But when you make them mean something and the crowd's like typically if a double count out, they booed when Stevenson and
they're booing him anyway.
Well, yeah. but it was like a difference. Like, oh, we won't get a finish. But yeah, if you can make that, if you can train your audience to accept those, but it's not, you can't do it overnight.
I agree. Yeah. So let's get to our championship matches. We have Seth Rollins defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Finn Balor, part of the Judgment Day. All the Judgment Day is going to be out there. Damian Priest has the briefcase. Here we are.
This is probably the most exciting thing I think going on the show because of all the what ifs and scenarios that could come from it. I think Finn wins, but then does Damian cash in on him and then they start that drama?
I was thinking the same. I'm thinking Finn wins the belt. I almost think he does. But do you do it right away? Do you tease it? Or do you have that moment where the Judgment Day now, they have all championships and Damian has the money to make, and you have that moment on Raw where the Judgment Day has all these belts. And then down the road, you set it up. You tease it, you tease it.
I think selling it as the last time at this venue, Finn won the World Championship. He held it for 24 hours. He didn't even get to hold it for 5 minutes this time in the store. Like, talk about bitter and Finn going nuts. That could just make the guy go, but again, if that's the direction they want to go, there's so many different ways. The one you said it seems the most logical. But I think teasing the Finn Priest stuff 3-4 weeks ago was a setup for the turn at SummerSlam for Priest to cash in. And for Priest to go, hey, look, I know I didn't do it because I hate you. I just did it because I saw an opportunity. And, I still want you to be in Judgment Day and I still want to be cool. And you just got to be a bigger man. You got to let that go, Finn. And Finn is like, you got to be kidding me. And like, and Priest got this fake earnestness, like, hey, I'll give you a rematch whenever you want, straight up and down, one-on-one. And then if you go that route, where does Dom and Rhea fall? It could be some pretty intriguing outcomes. So I think that's why I say this is the most exciting thing. Even though I'm more excited, the implications and the finish for Jay and Roman is obviously going to reverberate louder and heavier across. But I think the Judgment Day and World Championship stuff is a lot more options and outcome possibilities.
I will say one more thing about my thought process was Triple H is running the show. When Triple H is running NXT, he put all the belts on the Undisputed Era, just like he did with Triple H Evolution. So he put all the belts on the Undisputed Era. I can see him having that moment for Judgment Day. And then they do something like you're saying down the road. You have that seed. You have that seed. You can use it anytime. But I thought Triple H would want that moment like it did with the Undisputed Era in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Belt, and that's why you put a belt on Dom, so you could do this moment without taking Gunther and off the theory and all that kind of stuff.
Yep, no, that's a very good point and probably what's going to happen. But man, the
I love your idea
kind
too.
of like, what if? Like, oh, what if this happens? What if he does this? Is really exciting and just something we haven't had in a long time.
Exactly.
Consistently. So.
The main event, obviously, is the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Why it's still undisputed? I have no idea, but that's what it's going with it. It is Roman Reigns defending against Jey Uso in a tribal combat match. What that means, still don't have a clue, because I thought they would explain it on SmackDown, and they didn't. Maybe this week on SmackDown they will. I'll explain it better. But there's rumor going around that Roman announced that he's going to try to get as many Samoan Dynasty family members in the building for this match. That's intriguing to me.
Yes.
So,
this is the match because I kept saying, why hasn't Rikishi been a part of this at all? And my one main reason is because Rikishi was as fun and as awesome as Rikishi might have been at one point. He does not have like a gravitas to him that he can stand in the middle of the ring and do the, hey, we got family business and I'm here to sort some things out. Like, what? Hey, let's have a dance off for the tribal chief. Like, but now in the context of a he wouldn't have all the attention on him. It's not like, oh, Rikishi. It's like, no. It's Rikishi. It's Authentica. They even got Rock's mom to, sit in the audience. To, she's got a vested interest. I hope they go that far. I hope Rock's mom is there. I hope they can. I hope they just bring out anybody who looks vaguely Samoan, and they just go, yeah, no, that's Bruno Sikoa, or he's a fifth cousin. I don't care.
I mean, come on, there's like 37 of them right now active.
There are. They don't have to make up people and have random Mexicans pretending to be Samoans. They can actually literally bring in the entire bring in Jacob Fatu, and have him in the audience. I don't know.
Talking about Samoan member joining Booker T's Academy like a few weeks ago. We're talking about that.
Zilla Fatu. Yeah, have Zilla there. It's like he doesn't say anything, but he's like, you can see him in the background, like, oh, they got one. They don't just have a bunch of olds. That's
like Solo.
Yeah, totally.
No, so how do you see this ending? Do you see Roman dropping the belt? Yes or no?
I don't. I don't. As much as I think for continuity and for coming full circle, Jey Uso winning that title and being the one to dethrone Roman would make a lot of sense in a lot of ways. I also don't know if Jey Uso is ready to be the number one guy in the company.
True.
I don't know. It is a tough call. It's probably not. It's like, hey, Roman Reigns is making you all this money. Do you want to stop that? Like, probably not. I think WrestleMania is the spot. If it's a rematch with Cody, that'll feel big, and it'll obviously have a lot going into it. Especially just as of today, as of August, who knows what they'll do in the next 7 months to juice that thing up. So, which is another reason Cody obviously has to win the Brock feud in the end. Can't have him. Just gotta. Roman retains by hook or crook.
What's funny about this for me is if they didn't put the whole tribal chief stipulation on this, I think Jey had a more of a chance to win this match. But the minute they added that stipulation, they said the tribal chief will be decided in this match. I'm like, nope, Roman's retaining. That was the minute it changed in my brain. The minute they said that, it's like, you just ruined it. You ruined this one
because it made you realize like Jey just isn't the guy to hold that moniker, to hold that. It's one thing to be the champion, but the fact that they've built up the tribal chief stuff so much and made it important and made it mean so much, I just don't think you can have anybody claim to be the tribal chief outside of Roman Reigns. Because when Cody beats him, let's say Cody beats him at 40, he's not going to go around saying he's the tribal chief. He might say it as a throwaway line to take a dig at Roman, but that's not a thing that's going to be something he has going forward. He's just going to be Cody Rhodes, grandson of a plumber, same guy he's always been, now just a champion. And no one would expect him to carry are you going to be, tribal chief Cody? Like, no, of course not. So yeah,
wasn't what the first match was about. That wasn't what it was about at all. It's about the belt. It's about the title and the legacy. That's all.
Winning and losing. Yeah,
exactly. Well, that is SummerSlam.
Because when Roman says, "Are you going to carry this family?" It's like, yeah, Jey, are you? Are you going to carry this legacy?
Yeah. So, well, that's SummerSlam. That is the show. That is it. And I guess we should end things here. Since Sal's in here, I will hit this.
For more information on our show, including where you can find us on social media or watch the show on YouTube, go to theblakeandsalshow.com. Don't forget to comment or leave a rating and review, and we will read it on the show.
We're going to close one more song on the Rugby soundtrack. It is I'm Just Ken Ryan Goslin. Ended with this one. This is actually my original ending of the show before Sal couldn't come on the show. So this is my original closer. So there we go. Trav, we talked about it earlier. Obviously, we can find you over on the Torch as VIP side when you guys come back from your summer break, which I'm excited about. I listen to you guys on Thursday when I'm working.
So, no, we've been getting over the last few weeks. We've been getting some response like, "Hey, I know things have been, everybody doesn't have a show but it's been long enough, don't you think?" So We got to that point where people are really starting to notice, like, you're messing up my schedule and how I do things. So we'll get back in the groove. Hopefully next week, or certainly in the next week or two.
There you go. Well, that being said, I like to joke at the top of the show. We are on a bit of a summer break after this episode, but next week we actually pre-recorded a show. It is a crossover event we did with the Nadine and Mandy show. I'm going to leave it like that. It is a fun show. We did a game show. And it's worth listening to. It's definitely
check that out.
It's a game show we've never done before. It's something we've never done before, and it's a lot of fun. It's literally just a good half-hour show that we put up for next week. It's a lot of fun. And then the week after will be our live show replay from Fan Expo.
So I was going to say, are you guys doing it from the convention?
Well, next week it's going to be the pre-recorded, and then the week after, the live show from the convention will be on.
From the convention, yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking
cool.
Yeah. Nice 45-minute panel live show. Looking forward to that.
Nice.
All right. That being said, let's get out of here as Ryan Gosling says. I'm sorry, I'm cracking up with this song still. That being said,
you are Knuff, Blake.
Yes. Thank you, Travis, for coming on. This is a lot of fun.
Can't wait till next time. Thanks, Blake.
Hopefully it's not a year and a half next time we get you on the show. So, and that being said, thank you all for listening. We're going to get out of here. I'm Blake. Sal and Mark will be back eventually. And you've been listening to the Blake and Sal Show with Mark sometimes. Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you so very much. Goodbye. Mwah. And good night.
Bye-bye, bitch.